My life feels very different today than it did 3 years ago. It was a fall night like this when I attended a Catholic retreat at a Jesuit retreat house outside of Boston, Massachusetts. And I remember feeling very much in turmoil. And I also felt at that time, and I continue to feel this way, that the larger church that I serve is also very much in turmoil. You might say that all of this, at least it feels to me, is a metaphor for an unnamed and perhaps free-floating turmoil that our human race, that our human family continues to experience. I can't exactly explain why, but my life today feels very different. The one night that I was at that retreat center, I walked into the chapel down the hall from the room where I was staying, and I walked into an ordinary Catholic chapel in that it had an altar and a tabernacle. It had one mode of God's presence, I believe. And I remember walking in and seeing this plain, rectangular, but gold tabernacle, this traditional mode of Christ's presence. And my reaction to seeing it was to say to this repository of God's presence that if you're so powerful, if you're so special, why don't you get out of that box and do something about all this? Today, things are very different for me. Life does not feel nearly as tumultuous, although many of the problems, either personally or universally, continue to be there. I believe that I, that night, embarked upon a journey which continues even to the present day. And while I may have difficulty describing it or understanding all of it or pinning it down, things are very different. 1 year ago, I went on a pilgrimage of another sort to Japan. And I think that to go to a land so foreign, where everybody, the people, the customs, the language, the food, is so foreign, that it was a way to escape my ordinary moorings, the ordinary dimensions of my everyday life, so that I could be that much more aware or in touch of what truly is at the center of who I am. I didn't attempt then to say anything universally about anyone else other than about myself as a result of that experience. Tonight, I'm on the eve of a second trip to Japan. And this time I go with a much more deliberate and I think a clearer sense of the fact that I am on a journey into myself. That the question that I addressed to God 3 years ago was really a question that I had addressed to myself. I am attempting to go beyond the constraints of my everyday life to identify the things that box me in. The difficulties, the distractions, the problems, the habits of mind and action, which obscure or hold me back from understanding that which is at the core of what I have to call myself. And in so doing, I hope to know more about the larger human race, not in order to make conclusions, but to have greater understanding. And if I may be so bold, I seek also greater insight into this wider mystery, this greater and deeper mystery that you can call a higher power, or which I commonly and casually refer to as God. I go to Japan because I seek myself, and I seek a deeper understanding of what it means to be a person.